Hello! Welcome back to Grey the Gold Witch. I am doing a reading today on looking if you're balanced and how to balance more. And this reading has been incredible, and I'm so excited for you guys to listen. So this is the first crystal for pile 1. This is the second. The third beautiful crystal. And the fourth. So take a second, ponder these piles, and I will see you in your reading. Hey, pile 1, if you chose this lovely citrine crystal, I love it. I hope you can see there's this like little polished crystal, like there's a little piece of it inside of it that just is so lovely, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of like the shape of a galaxy. And it's, it's flat as a galaxy is. And okay, I really hope you could see that. So this reading is on balance, and we're going to look at how balanced, the balance state you're in right now, how balanced you are. And then we're going to look in how to find more balance in your life. And I've noticed in my life, balance is a never-ending finding of equilibrium. We always need to be aware of our balance. And that's just the human condition. There's nothing wrong with being imbalanced, but I personally believe imbalance is where suffering lies. So this kind of reading is refreshing to me because I need help sometimes finding balance. So this reading is also for me in that sense. So for our check-in on your balance state right now, I have some pre-drawn oracle cards. So we have rotation in the upright, awareness, moth, and the riddle. Oh my god, pile 1. You are in a very, very balanced state in how you live your life. The way you live your life, the way you go about your days, the way you practice your spiritual principles, everything, like you are very balanced in your overall structure of life, the way you live it. And you have awareness of this. You are someone who has that enlightenment of balance. Of needing to regulate yourself. It's frustrating to be in a place of balance and still have things come up that cause suffering, cause you to think. I mean, these are things of imbalance, but overall, I want you to know the way you live fundamentally, your overarching life, you are living a very balanced life. And you are very self-aware. I think sometimes it's easy as an aware person to second guess your awareness. You have clarity on your overall overarching life. And I think that that's what Spirit really wants you to know, is that your forest is thriving. Like your overall forest is thriving. And I feel like any imbalance you're feeling is super close up, like you're standing in front of a tree in the forest, and this tree needs some pruning, needs some help. But you're aware of this as well. With the moth here, I'm seeing you're aware of the human condition of grass is always greener, wanting what you can't have, looking at things, knowing that dissatisfaction is a common state for humans, and knowing that there's other ways to look at this. I think you're very aware of sometimes your perception goes into this lack mindset, but you're able to rotate it out and find harmony in gratitude. I think gratitude lists, I'm sure you have done them, practice them. They would really surprisingly boost your life in ways you wouldn't expect. I feel like some of you already do this, but morning meditation, starting your mornings with journaling and gratitude lists could be like the perfect way to start your days. Because I'm thinking your macro balance is beautiful, but micro imbalance is inevitable in life. And I think that would be a really good way to start out balancing your day in this micro way. This is something that I am bad about doing. This is really making me feel I need to do this, because starting the day balanced sets you up for more success than trying to figure it out throughout the day. There's also here a little bit of a upset, even maybe a little bit of obsession of what you can't see, of what you're unaware of the limits of your consciousness. You want to know more, you want to be able to explain things, what's happening in your life, why things go the way they do. And sometimes that's just completely impossible. And that's just also the human condition. And I think there's something here about accepting your humanity, accepting that you're not going to know why things happen on a day-to-day basis, why upsets happen, why difficulty comes about. And instead, just knowing you have the tools to get through it. Because you have the not perfect, there's nothing perfect ever. But you have a really great foundation that can help you in this journey. And I think having confidence in that, confidence in the ground you stand on, will be really helpful. There's this story that I read in Clarissa Pinkola Estes' Women Who Run with the Wolves. If you've been with me for a while, that book is really, really a cornerstone in my spirituality and in my way of perceiving the world. It's one of the biggest blessings I've been offered in this life, at least from my perspective. And there's a story in it about how four people are shown the secret of life, the beauty, all of the secrets of how the world operates, how the universe operates. And one of them is so moved, they go crazy talking about it. One of them doesn't believe it. One of them isn't able to conceptualize it. Another person, like, they think it was a dream. Another person, I think, might have dropped dead or something. But the person who was able to look at it, see its beauty, but also right size it and know that while it's beautiful, it's not dominant over their day-to-day life, their reality. Knowing that life has a separate meaning besides that overarching meaning. And I think getting lost in that wonder can be really debilitating. And it's important to, I'm kind of thinking of the phrase, chop wood, carry water. Like, continue your day-to-day life, continue life as it is on this planet, in this life, and worry less about what you can't understand. Because it's through living these experiences that you learn more. That story, it's really about realizing something's important, but not glorifying it or making it the most important thing. Because if that was the only thing someone focused on and fixated on, it made them go crazy. They needed to be grounded in this reality. That also reminds me of Nietzsche and how he really flew into this abstract world of thinking and of examining the universe, and he really didn't stay grounded in his day-to-day reality. And it ended up really hurting him. He didn't have a job or family or community to ground him. So he floated up and up into the air until he couldn't come back to reality. And he, by all accounts, went insane, went into a mental institution. And what's cool about this reading, what's cool about your pile, is Spirit's affirming that your day-to-day grounded life, or your overarching life, is super grounded, and you have a wonderful foundation of living in this world, living this life in everything you do. And the imbalance comes from this micro wondering, this micro dissatisfaction and not knowing the bigger picture. But the bigger picture in your life is that you're doing wonderfully. You're in the way you're living, the way you go about your days is beautiful. You're living in harmony, and you don't have to worry about what you can't see as much. And there's a difference between pondering, being interested in it, and it dominating your life and kind of debilitating your day-to-day life. So, yeah, I really like that morning reflection, starting the day with that grounded foundation. So maybe floating into, even this moth is like flying, just kind of reaching into abstraction is harder because you're already grounded in this way. It's like building a healthy relationship. Like, this kind of reminds me of yoga in the sense that you ground your body, but you also reach towards this enlightenment. And balance is, you need to have both. You need to have, or not need to, but this spirituality and this groundedness in life is the balance. And the spirituality is really the nectar, the balm for this reality we live in. And it feels like you can't overdo it with the nectar. You have to be balanced with the life you live. Wow, that's pretty crazy. So let's look at any advice on balancing yourself, anything that hasn't been said. The way those cards spinned, it felt like it's not like you're stuck in this. You're not stuck in any kind of imbalance. Like, don't worry about being imbalanced in one way, because I think this balance oscillates. Sometimes reality is stronger, sometimes spirituality is stronger. And that's the way of life. So don't feel like you need to overcompensate by shifting one way or shifting the other way. this balance is something that just takes time to find the source of creating this balance, which I saw like very clearly in this gratitude. So we have the Father of Cups on the back of the deck. Justice in reverse. Five of Wands in reverse. The Lovers in reverse. So I think a trigger for imbalance in your life is when bad things happen and when things that don't make sense to you happen, and you're trying to understand it on this abstract level. You're going to your spirituality to understand it because this grounded life can't explain it for you. You need to look other places. And as I was saying earlier, we can't see the big picture. We're looking at the tree. When we see this, we're not able to see the full landscape of why things happen the way they happen. So I think feeling lost, feeling kind of all over the place, feeling just devastated by things that happen in life, things that happen to other people, why things are that way. And difficulty in relationship is also a big thing. And it's funny because I'm so against gendering any spirit. Spirit is not a person in the sky for me. Spirit is the energy around us and is completely like, we can't understand it, but I see it in that form and in other dimensions. And I think what Spirit's trying to say here, and like the way that they're able to, from a human perspective, is that there is morality, there is care from the spiritual realm. There is empathy and compassion and wanting the best for you. And that's where, when you look at the big picture, you're able to see these blessings. Like when I talked about how Women Who Run with the Wolves is one of the biggest blessings I've had. You have them, but there's also a balance to life of this difficulty and this beauty, because the beauty wouldn't, things exist because the opposite exists. Hegel talks about we exist because we're perceived by another, an object outside of ourselves. And maybe that's not what abstract consciousness is, but that is the truth of this reality that we live in on Earth. So there's kind of a finality here. It's not like absolute reassurance, but it's like you can focus on the good. The bad will happen, but you can focus on the good. And it makes sense that this bad imbalances you. And there are practices to find balance in this, but you're allowed to be angry, you're allowed to be sad, you're allowed to be upset at life. But Spirit is saying, like, radical acceptance, surrender, these are tools that exist, but that doesn't negate the fact that these experiences are horrible, and perceiving them in this reality is devastating. And whenever you get into this imbalanced state, Spirit's also saying, don't blame yourself, blame it on these things outside of you. Know that there's a reason. Okay, so when someone takes mushrooms and goes on a trip, if they're freaking out, like, why do I feel this way? If they're having a bad trip, they can go back to the source and be like, I ate the mushroom. The mushroom is what's causing this. And whenever you're imbalanced and wondering, why am I feeling this imbalanced? You can go back to the source, and it's something unfair that's happened, something difficult that's happened, something unexplainable to you that's happened. And I think that that will regulate you in some ways, because it's easy in the face of imbalance, being so close to whatever you're feeling, not to have that perspective that these things are unfair. You might try to talk yourself out of it or rationalize it, or just tell yourself stories that you don't need to. You can just go back to the source and be like, this is what's imbalancing me. This isn't fair. I'm not going to give it that power. And I see you holding this, and I see this being something that heals that anxiety. Like, it's funny that a lot of these tools that are coming up are like therapy tools, like DBT, being at a party and there being one really obnoxious person there, and accepting they're there, but not focusing your energy on it, focusing on the good parts of the party, not letting that ruin your experience. And that's kind of the practice that causes the harmony here. So you are doing great. Your foundation, the foundation we saw, you are living life and doing these things in a very beautiful way. But I think it's cutting the head off the snake here, being aware of what it is, and realizing, yes, it might come from this, the answer might be here to why this stuff happens. But sometimes you just need to, from this perspective, cut the head of the snake. Fight it from this groundedness. So this is what I'm getting for you. It was an honor to read for you, and I will see you very soon. Hey, Pile 2, if you chose this beautiful crystal, then this is your reading on if you're balanced and how to balance yourself. So right here, when I was starting your reading, I was setting everything up, and in my head, it was like I felt I needed to be careful. Like I needed to be intentional with my actions and with what I was doing. And that's how I always feel. I always feel it's important to be intentional with your actions and think before you do something. But Spirit is saying that this is really important, and whether you've been doing this and they're proud of you or they're encouraging you to do it more, I'll leave that up to you to confirm. So, are you balanced? I have some pre-shuffled oracle cards that we're going to look at first. The first one is Chaos. The second one is Up Level, Bear, and Vow. Okay. So with Chaos here, I can see why you might be like, oh no, but this is still really good, because what this is you're in an exciting new chapter. Whether this is coming or not, you are entering something, you're up leveling into something that really fulfills you and is something that I think you've been in before. I think that this could be getting into a relationship or starting a life somewhere new, or working a new job, something like this, and something that you're excited about, and it feels like you're committing to it in a far more mature way than you've committed to other things in the past. I think you know what you want, what you're looking for, and there's a lot that's new to you here, and it feels chaotic. I think your mind is kind of in chaos of like, what do I do? And that's funny that be intentional, be careful vibe came out first, because that's kind of what I see you have been doing, and what Spirit says will maintain balance for you is when you feel chaotic, when this feels overwhelming, be intentional with your actions. And for some reason, I just heard the coast is clear. I think there's been obstacles to things coming along, and you're at a point where they are coming through. And with the bear here, it feels like you've been hibernating for a long time, and you're just now waking up into spring. And you knew this day would come, but you are still waking up. You're still getting used to it. It's weird being in just going into a new speed, a new pace of things. And of course I thought of, at least I see the light from Rapunzel, because this is like the Rapunzel card objectively. And I'm thinking about the fact that she had the magic hair, and that was what she got her worth from. But then she cut it, or no, she met someone and they fell in love, and they cut it and said, you're not beautiful because of this hair, you're beautiful because of who you are. And maybe that's how you feel in this situation. Yellow, I think, could be a color really calling to you now, just like an uplifting, happy color. And I see this being something that you feel good about externally, but you fear maybe a little bit internally. And so do I think you're in balance? I think you are as in balance as you can be in a situation like this. I think you are navigating a new environment and coming into, like, acclimating to it, as well as coming into equilibrium with it. I think that it would be impossible not to be integrating in a way that might feel a little off balance, because it's not how you used to be. When you move, when you up level, when you wake up, when you change like things in your life, the balance will be shaken. I'm really feeling like this doesn't have to be chaotic. You fear this chaos, maybe because of past situations. You fear this stress, but this can be safe and peaceful and happy and not stressful and dramatic in a chaotic way. I think maybe you're used to the drama of living somewhere or working somewhere or being with partners, and you don't have to have that this time. You can have just normalcy and safety, and I can see in the cards that's really what you want. But maybe that past energy comes in, and I think it's really important you remember it's a phantom of the past, and you are prepared for the life you're living now. I think you have a true friend from Hannah Montana just played in my head. I think you have loving relationships of all kinds in your life, and you're really routine. I have been saying rooting. I can't enunciate the T, but you've been routine into your new, like, into this life you're deepening those roots, and you're doing it with conviction and with trust in what you're doing. And the more that you deepen your roots, the less chaos flies by. Oh, I'm thinking about those trees, those large, those large trees in California. I hate that I'm blinking, but they sway like incredibly when they in the wind. Like, it's frightening how much they sway, but we don't have to fear them blowing over because their roots are so deeply grounded. And I think that that's something that you're learning, I think, because you are grounding. It'll be easier to know how to balance yourself because your life is regulated and your emotional body is regulated. So I want to see, for some reason I feel like let's hurry up. Maybe you're wanting to hurry parts of this and get from part A to part B, but Spirit really, really is urging you and hoping that you'll embrace every second of it. Enjoy it. Like, this life is worth savoring, and you don't have to eat through it so fast. You don't have to live like that. You can just savor every day, every moment. And I see that the life you're living gives you that space to do that. You don't have fears of security or fears of, or like loneliness. You have space to bring in love where those things would take up space. Okay, let's see what Spirit has to say about this balance. The world. Your story isn't over. There's a lot more to it. And I think maybe you built it up to a climax of some sort, maybe even this climax. And there's so much life you're living after it. I'm thinking about how this is so lame, but Rapunzel, and when her story ends, it's not like her life ends. I mean, it does for us, but she continues to live out her life like it's that happily ever after, even though that's not a real thing. That's the concept of it. You have all of this after. And it's not after in the eyes of life. It's like just a part of it. It's like a river and a stream or another river coming in and them connecting. But it's not like you lose the original. They curve in together. So let's look at a few more cards. We have the Tower, the Mother of Wands, the Son of Pentacles, and the Chariot. And Death on the back of the deck. You're going to feel aftershocks of this chaos energy. I think it's not something you can control. It's something that is inevitable. And there's something about I'm thinking of moms being protective over mom bears being protective over their cubs. And if their cub is in danger, then fighting. I think you might become really defensive because you want to keep this world, and you might have just after effects of this chaos that you might think is happening in this reality when it's from the past and it's just haunting you. And Spirit's saying, when you have those moments, it would be off balance to take action from that place, and instead sit in humility, sit knowing that this isn't about you, this isn't what you need to do. I think sitting and really asking your higher power to give you strength and show you what to do is really important. I think that this is very clear, is you will be off balance if you act impulsively without acknowledging that these feelings and this survival mode is coming up because of past fear. Yeah, and that's funny I brought up bears and survival mode. I think realizing your nervous system's activated, realizing that you're safe now. Sometimes my nervous system gets activated and I literally say to myself, I'm safe now, I'm okay, I have nothing to fear. Because when our nervous system activates, it thinks that we're in danger. And so affirming to myself, affirming to yourself that you're safe can go a very long way. Very long way. So I have these affirmation cards. I feel kind of led to pull a few. We have the Page of Cups and the Eight of Wands. Even though you're headed into a new chapter, this is all happening, you can still be in balance and have fun and play and enjoy yourself and live a very abundant, filled life. I think there's a seriousness that Spirit doesn't want you to get into, that it's almost as though Spirit's asking you to expect the best, because you have people you can really trust in your life, loved ones you can really trust, and those are the people to hold on to. And yeah, be open to just new things coming in as well. So many new things are going to come in. This isn't just because this came in doesn't mean that that's going to stop. So many more things are going to come in. And so it feels like Spirit's just asking you to play and enjoy it. Enjoy the things happening to you. Don't psychoanalyze them too much. Just be present to them. I think that really Spirit's saying your balanced path is to be present to your life and realize when the past is haunting you or you're getting too far ahead. Just be very present and alive in your day-to-day life, and that's where you find balance. And this is really exciting because not only does this reading talk about you having balance, but it's also saying that like very big blessings are coming into your life right now. And I'm just so excited for you and whatever's happening. But also don't feel like an immense pressure to enjoy it. Like, I think just be. Tell yourself to relax. Tell yourself to remind yourself of what it was like to play as a little kid and how you viewed the world and how refreshing. And I think that'll take a load off, because maybe things have become too serious sometimes, and really Spirit just wants you to play. So yeah, this is what I'm getting for you, pile 2. I absolutely loved your reading. If you want to like and subscribe, I'd love to have you here, and I will see you in another reading. Bye. Hey, pile 3. If you chose the selenite crystal, then this is your reading on if you're balanced and how to attain balance. So before I started this reading, I heard my girls. And I think that, and also I was drawing the oracle cards and gold kept falling out. And I was like, wow, like Spirit's really saying that these people are special. These people are like your girls, regardless of gender. And that made me really happy. And it just started this reading out on a really positive note. So yeah, let's start with your oracle cards. So the first card we have is the New Girl. Say less. The next card we have is Apocalypsis. There's this song that I just heard on TikTok, or not on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, that is like, I am your mother, listen to me. And I don't think I like that. I don't think I like that song. Okay, so next we have Love. And we have the Cobra in reverse. So it's funny that song came out because it feels like you don't really want to be taught. You're at a phase of your life where you feel you have love in your life, you have fulfillment, and are balanced in a way that you're satisfied with. Or maybe also I'm feeling you feel like what you've been learning, what other people tell you, isn't necessarily what you know to be true. I think you have a very deep awareness. You have a lot of grit. You have been through very difficult things, and you've really realized what love is about, what life is about, and you've done it through seeing beyond the veil, seeing the truth of life. And I think you're at a phase where you want growth, you want inspiration, you want more wisdom, and you're struggling to find the teachers, the people that can help you move forward. And I totally get this. An example for me is I'm in a 12-step program. I have really worked steps 1 through 9, and I need to move on to step 10. But you're supposed to work them with a sponsor, and my sponsor currently is on the same step as me and hasn't been really active in the program. So I needed to find a new sponsor. But everywhere I looked, I was like, I don't think, and I don't mean this in like a better than thou way. It's just like how I really intuitively felt was, I don't feel like these people are a good match for me. Like everywhere I looked, I was like, I really want this to work. And the person I found, or finally I've decided on like a couple days ago, is someone who I wouldn't have suspected in the past me wanting to work with. They're a beautiful person, and I know that they're going to teach me things I don't even know that I need to know about just life in general, because they have a simple life. They have a beautiful life with their partner and with their day-to-day involvement in uplifting activities. But they aren't the first person I would have gone to, but I felt an innate wisdom intuitively attracting me to them. I don't know what it's going to be. It feels like kind of secrets are going to be unlocked, like more will be revealed. But I feel it in me that there's something there. And that's what I'm seeing for you guys, is where you're going to find your next wisdom, where you're going to find spiritual mentorship. It's going to be from paths you least expect, from people you least expect. I see you even finding them in authors, in podcast hosts. I never listen to podcasts. I was listening to one today. But I think you're going to find them in places you never would have expected, and in people you never would have expected. People you might have cast off a while ago, and then now you see them in a new light. And I think that this is a lesson in itself, that something can be wrong for you. Something can feel like the wrong move for you. You perceive it that way. You intuitively feel that way. But then time can move on. You can grow. And that thing can be exactly what you need. It's funny because I feel like we, as a society, as what we're culturally taught with this pearl, there's a certain kind of success, of rise in popularity, rise in what we know, what we're told to be true, beauty standards, egoic success. And maybe in the past, those are the people that you felt led to learn from. And while life is a balance of operating in the real world and spiritually, I think you're going to be really surprised to see that the gifts of your life are coming from a really deep, soulful experience. There's something about finding the answers in this patience, in being patient for things going on in your life that really you can't control. I was talking to someone the other day about, we were talking about pet peeves, and I was talking about living in the city, how when people get off the subway or get on the subway before people have been able to get off, that just really bugs me. But we were talking about it, and I was like, the thing is I decide what affects me. Like when I go on the subway platform and I just barely miss the train, I let it go. Because I don't need, the only person that obsession, that anger affects is me. So choosing what affects you could be a big part of this next chapter. Choosing what you let be important in your life. And I think some of this egoic stuff will be included in this. And I see that's for good, a good thing. And also will become a foundation of your life. And I think that that's something that these people are helping you bring into your life. I think there's a lot of noise, just radio static around you, of things that bug, of things that feel spiritually dry. And a lot of that goes on in our society, just in capitalism as a whole. And this next chapter will be you being able to release it, like releasing whenever you barely miss a train. I really like that. I really like that we decide what affects us. We do have control, even when sometimes it feels like we really don't. I see that being where you find balance in your life. I think you feel balanced in numerous ways, but maybe those things outside of you, this train leaving, feels imbalanced. You feel like you're not in the flow with life around you, with external life. And that's all an illusion. Those things that happen are tests for how we respond. Because what we have control over is how we respond to these things. And we have the power not to let them affect us. It's like in The Labyrinth, whenever, I forget the actress's name, but kind of the moral of it is you don't have to let things have power over you. And I think we all can intellectualize this. This is so, I think in the spiritual practice, it's a tenet of spirituality. But I think in practice, in a world like ours, it's difficult. It's difficult to reach this. And it's going to be so freeing. And I see that being what you're offered through teachers in your life. This is something that you can be taught. And it's exactly how your soul feels. So interacting with the world like this will feel like perfect alignment. Not that there's anything perfect. And I think that's part of this egoic societal construct that we're trying to avoid. But you'll find the answer within you, not without. So, yeah, let's look at the tarot cards. I don't know where to put them. Yeah, maybe even compartmentalizing these things. Like, where do I put this upset? Like, where, like, when the train, you barely miss the train, where do you put that upset so that you can be at peace? And I think that that's a tool that you're going to realize you can find, like, I don't know, a box, a metaphorical box where you just throw all of or trash can where you throw all of the bullshit. I think yeah, that's a good idea. I need to see that in action in my life. So pile 3, are they balanced? And what can we balance? Okay. And on the back of the deck, we have the Mother of Swords. This is so funny because of that song. Mother Knows Best from Tangled just popped into my head. But also, I'm Your Mother, Listen to Me, the song I was hearing. You get to choose who you listen to, first of all. And there is a competitive mother, not nurturing mother archetype in our world that has been brought on by a multitude of things. This competitiveness, this perfection standard, needed to be perfect. I think that's something that is in the unbalanced mother archetype, is this critical, you need to be better. And the standards, the beauty standards, the societal standards that run this are so misguided. But also, whenever a mother figure is someone that you go to for guidance, that's probably why you were turned off by these people around you who don't have this guidance to give you. You can see through it. And it's disheartening. And I think naming that this is the abusive mother, frankly, and that you can find other kinds. And I think you really have the intuitive ability to separate from this archetype. I think in your day-to-day life, the people you surround yourself with, I think, and like the media you consume as well. But the thing is it's still going to exist. So you throw it in that trash can. You find other tools that help you live with it, but not let it control or manipulate you into thinking it's correct. Okay, so we have the Hanged Man, the Sun in reverse, the Daughter of Swords, the Four of Pentacles. Wow, the Daughter of Swords. You fully have control over your perception, how you view the world. And I see that you have it. You are such an individualized, perceptive, intuitives, just really, you're someone with clarity and you can name these things. You're like, this isn't what true happiness is. This is egoic. And this is because you've experienced maybe succeeding in this world and realizing it doesn't have fulfillment, realizing that it's difficult, but also seeing the vast majority of people living with these values. And it's disheartening and can make you feel alone, and also like make you second guess yourself, like, am I looking at this wrong? And I'm seeing that you're looking with like the utmost clarity. And there's things within that world that you see benefit in. And Spirit's asking you to choose to sacrifice what feels wrong to you. Or choose to sacrifice the things that you might see benefit in this world, but are holding you back. And you've gone through so much of this with experience, with realizing, uncovering the fact that these values aren't what make you happy. But if you don't let go of some of these certain value or certain things, really values in this system, you'll continue to experience things until that veil is lifted and you have complete clarity. But Spirit's saying you have this clarity. I think journaling what these things you might still be attached to are from this egoic capitalist viewpoint. And there's things that we have to be. That's the other thing, is like, there's things that in society you have to function and be a part of this world. But I'm seeing that these are things that you can let go of. Let's see what these things are. What are you asking Pile 3 to let go of? The universe brings all I need to find blissful, to feel blissful. Invitations, being invited into this world, being accepted in this world, enjoying this world. I think you still cling to some sort of pseudo belonging, even though you like know that you don't identify with it or want these things. You still, I think, maybe subconsciously want them to want you. And that's so normal. That's part of life. We want to feel accepted and like we belong. But we can sacrifice knowing this and live a more perceptive life, live towards our values and not just what we're told to value. This is reminding me of, for some reason, award shows, elite parties, weddings you really want to be invited to, but you don't even like the person that is celebrating. This is what we're told is bliss. But this bliss is a veneer, and underneath it is the soul. And it's okay to get rid of the veneer. I think looking at this and realizing what's under it, realizing what values, what's lacking, what doesn't fulfill you, what are you sacrificing in yourself to be a part of this. So yeah, let's see any positive affirmations Spirit has for you. Queen of Swords. I protect what matters to me. Spirit's saying to feel more balanced, you protect your true self from these illusions, because I think you really perceive what is an illusion. You have that clarity, and you need to value your life and who you are above all else, and not get caught in what can be seen as absolute fulfillment, because true fulfillment is in a new beginning for you. Spirit, if you let go of these things, you're going to be taken there. Like, it's almost as though a new quest is offered to you because you let go of these things and trusted in your true values. Not perfect. Perfect is something taught over here, but really the thing that fulfills your soul, the exciting thing, is going to come in. And that's the thing, is this world, your value system, this soulful world, is even more exciting than whatever's going on over there. It feels like quests and adventure and really feeling completely thrilled and alive. And maybe we feel less alive over here in this fake sun energy. So yeah, pile 3, I hope that made sense to you. I think you're an incredible person. That has been shown throughout this whole reading, and this was a message that I think we're very lucky to hear, because it's easy to get swept up and lose perspective, at least for me. So yes, pile 3, I will see you very soon. Bye. Hey, pile 4, if you chose this selenite wand that kind of glows in the light, this is your reading on are you balanced and how to gain more balance. So before I started your reading, I was hearing this song I used to listen to in elementary school, and it's called Grace Kelly by Mika, and it's, do I attract you, do I repulse you with my queasy smile? Am I too dirty? Am I too flirty to like what you like? So maybe there's some overthinking of people's perception of you. And when I was pulling the Oracle cards kept falling out face up, and I only take cards that are face down because I don't want to see them till the reading starts. And they all were like very beautiful, like uplifting cards, and Spirit's saying, I can already tell that you're just this beautiful light, this beautiful person, and who cares what people think, frankly? It does not matter, because the truth is you are this beautiful person, and the rest is gravy. I don't know why it's gravy, but it's gravy is what came in my head. So yeah, let's get into it. We have the uncreated, deep breathing, the medallion, and the bear. Oh, this is like a very artistic pile. Also, there's something that Spirit's asking you to start now. Or at least start when you feel that burst. Don't feel like you need to wait till it all comes together. You can just write notes on like little things that come into your head, ideas about it. You don't need to start it, but you can start writing down, brainstorming, outlining. I think that's something Spirit really wants for you. And Spirit's also asking with number 5, may seem significant. Deep breathing will help you get through anxious times. You're going to have a moment where you realize you have this burst of energy about your work. You yeah, you're definitely a creative, and maybe those feelings were also kind of entwined in the work you make. There's going to be some sort of success, the medallion here, but it comes with some anxiety. It's like whenever you really want something and then you get it and you're like, oh no, what do I do? This is really uncomfortable and out of my element. And what is going to happen? I think that's kind of the tailspin. And this totally happens to me. And with deep breathing, I really think that Spirit's wanting you to regulate your emotions. Not even regulate, or not even wants you to, hopes for you. Because Spirit just sees you so highly and sees what you do and what you make so highly. I'm hearing you're ahead of your time. My cat right now is eating her food, and I think that she's consuming. And I think that your work, whatever you're doing, is going to be consumed. And you have, first of all, I want you to know that you have so many creative works to make. And so much is unwritten, so much is coming. But you're headed towards a confirmation of your work that might make you wonder. It might influence in some way your future work, what you decide to make. And Spirit really doesn't want that to happen. Spirit wants you to go into your next works completely unbiased, unaffected by whatever outside noise comes in from this. Don't do things differently. Do them aligned with your soul. Or if you feel like doing them differently, don't feel like you're stuck in a box because of something else you've made. You are coming out of some sort of break where it's time to create anew. And I see that with what you're doing right now. And also I'm seeing maybe you've been a little too caught up in recognition and in that side of creating art, and you're being asked to go back to the fundamental of creating art, just the love of creation, the love of the process. Really, I think you're meant to love what you have done before, and yet move forward. And I think Spirit's saying more is going to come from this past work, but you don't have to wait for this more to come before you begin this new. Begin anew. Because even beginning anew, it just feels so fruitful. And the medallion and bear feel like gravy. It's almost as though these are the potatoes, this is the gravy. How people feel about this work, the celebration. Really, the point of it is this creation. So, yeah, I think this is something you're also going to continue to realize as time goes on, is that perception, public opinion of the finished project isn't the point. The point is making what your soul desires to make. And I think you're going to find peace and calm some of your anxiety about outward facing things when you go inward and start to create. I think that there's something about world building here. This is Snow White. That's so funny with the 7 dwarfs. So, yeah, I want to look into your tarot cards of how to balance. So I think the balance here is regulating what matters to you, balancing external perception with internal knowing. So, yes, and internal knowing is far more important. So let's look at what the tarot cards have to say. That was a lot. We have the Five of Wands in reverse. Yeah, I think that whenever you focus on externalities, you become scatterbrained. You don't know what's next for you, or you don't know what to do because you can't tell from that viewpoint. But the thing is you know from this internal viewpoint. So you're really meant to step away from that. So we do have, well, not as many cards as I thought, which is good. I didn't want to be overwhelmed. And I think that's part of it, is that quality over quantity. Really embrace that. Embrace quality over quantity. We were talking in pile 3 about how in externality in in the world we're taught to view things in a certain way, and I think we're taught to view quantity over quality in capitalism. But you're meant to really respect and be driven by quality. So we have Justice in reverse, Ace of Wands in reverse, the Nine of Wands, the Four of Swords, and the Ten of Cups in reverse. In my head, I had just heard, this was all a dream. I think really a big thing right now is being grateful for this freedom and peace of movement in the art you create. And I see this hard work, you working on these things and seeing an end goal in sight. And when things don't work out, when you feel like something's a moon and it doesn't become the moon, you feel this injustice, you feel, it makes you just feel less passionate, it makes you more complacent, because it hurts. It hurts to think things are one way and they're not. But the sun is radiating from you. Look at that third eye of the Lamb, and the moon will automatically orbit the sun. So you just have to trust in the right moon coming in. And it's very normal to be wrong about the moon, of what this creative work is leading to. Because I think something that's very important to realize is that any creative work you create has some impact on yourself in the world. And you might not understand it from a 3D perspective, but for some reason, Spirit's saying all will be made clear. So you will understand this as time passes. You'll also understand that the things you had wanted weren't happiness for you. You realize that everything that Spirit brought in brought you true joy, true abundance, and you won't want these things that you missed out on, because you really trust that whenever you have these things, you're so blessed and so thankful that you wouldn't have it any other way. I think that some of these things that could have happened would have made you far less passionate about your work, would have made you also more complacent. And you're meant to have this peace and this freedom. This peace and this freedom, and not have that taken away. You want things that feed that. Feed your freedom. But I'm seeing that this moon is coming. You're unstoppable. Nothing's going to stop you. None of this hurt. And you're almost there. And Spirit just wants you to live in this deep breathing, this peace. Because we don't know what's best for us, but the perfect thing, the most fulfilling thing is coming in. Let's look at any positive affirmations Spirit has for you. the sun. I am optimistic and appreciate all I have. Spirit's asking you to be optimistic about whatever's coming in because it's going to be so fulfilling and so what you need to continue in your creative abilities. So trust that that's happening. May was coming through. I'm also noticing the sun. I think that kind of confirms the sun will be shining on this. You have so much to look forward to, and it might not be what you initially wanted, but it's exactly what you needed. And you're going to be so, so grateful and not want anything else after this happens. A lot of cards came out. 9 of Cups, the Moon, 2 of Swords. The Moon, bro! Okay, you can't make this stuff up. Yeah, listen to your intuition right now. When you're calm, you'll feel it. You'll feel that you're being led this way. And that you couldn't have this without losing these fulfillments, without losing these excitements. I think something also that can happen here is you feeling like this isn't coming in because these aren't, you're mistaking these things for this beauty. And Spirit's really bringing you this fundamental beauty. So don't be dismayed. Don't be disappointed when things you perceived as paths that you wanted don't work out, because you're really being led to your utmost fulfillment. And I am so excited for you. And it really is coming in soon. May 18th and 19th, perhaps. Okay, lovely people. I am so excited for you in your creative journey and where you're headed. And oh my God, this is really special. So I will see you soon. Bye.